The economy. It's this complex system we're all part of, this thing that determines who has stuff and, let's be real, often who gets to stuff. It's the heartbeat of nations, right? But what happens when that heartbeat goes haywire? What happens when the economy, this thing we rely on, crashes? Today we're diving deep into 7 of history's most devastating economic disasters. From hyperinflation that makes money meaningless to global recessions that ripple across continents, these events reshaped countries, destroyed lives, and taught us some pretty powerful lessons. So buckle up, because we're about to explore the dark side of economic history, starting with one of the most terrifying collapses of all time. The 1920s, a time of flappers, jazz, and a booming stock market that felt like it would climb forever. But as we know, what goes up must come down. The Wall Street crash of 1929 wasn't just a stock market crash, it was a societal earthquake.
Banks failed, businesses shuttered, and unemployment soared. The Great Depression's effects were felt globally. The interconnected world economy meant a crash in one country sent shockwaves globally.
The Great Depression wasn't just about numbers, it was about people, families losing everything. It took over a decade, massive government intervention, and World War II to recover. Imagine a loaf of bread costing trillions of dollars. This was Zimbabwe in the late 2000s. Hyperinflation was very real.
Prices rose uncontrollably. Government mismanagement and sanctions played a role. Prices doubled every few hours. People carried bags of cash for basics. Inflation hit 89.7 sextillion%. Let that sink in.
Money became worthless. People bartered. The human cost was immense. Savings were wiped out, pensions meaningless. Zimbabwe's hyperinflation is a stark reminder of economic fragility. The 2008 financial crisis was like a slow-motion train wreck that engulfed the world. It started with subprime mortgages. Banks gave loans to people who couldn't afford them, packaged them into complex products, and sold them to investors.
When the housing market collapsed, the house of cards fell. Banks failed, stock markets plummeted, and millions lost jobs and homes. Governments had to step in with massive bailouts.
The crisis exposed the interconnected global economy and the dangers of unregulated markets. It was a wake-up call about economic fragility.
The year was 1997, and Southeast Asia was experiencing rapid economic growth dubbed the Asian tiger economies. But, beneath the surface, a crisis was brewing.
It began in Thailand with a currency crisis, the Thai baht collapsing under speculative pressure. This sparked a chain reaction that ripped through Southeast Asia.
Currencies plummeted, stock markets crashed, and foreign investors, spooked by the turmoil, pulled their money out as fast as they could.
The crisis exposed weaknesses in the region's financial systems, crony capitalism, and a reliance on short-term foreign debt.
The International Monetary Fund, or IMF, stepped in with rescue packages, but these came with strict austerity measures that often exacerbated the social costs of the crisis.
The Asian financial crisis was a harsh lesson in the importance of sound economic policies, the risks of rapid capital flows, and the potential consequences of globalization.
Chapter 5. Greece's Debt Crisis. A Nation on the Precipice, 2010-2018. Greece, the birthplace of democracy, faced a different kind of crisis in the 2010s, a sovereign debt crisis. Years of overspending, a bloated public sector, and questionable accounting practices had left Greece with a mountain of debt it couldn't repay.
This wasn't just a Greek problem, though. As a member of the Eurozone, Greece's woes threatened the stability of the entire euro currency. The crisis plunged Greece into years of economic turmoil. Austerity measures imposed by international lenders led to soaring unemployment, widespread protests, and a deep recession.
The Greek debt crisis exposed the challenges of a single currency, with diverse economies, the limits of austerity as a solution, and the social unrest that economic hardship can ignite. It was a stark reminder that even in a highly integrated world, economic problems in one country can have far-reaching consequences.
Chapter 6. Venezuela's Economic Collapse, From Riches to Ruin, 2010s. Once upon a time, Venezuela was an oil-rich nation, a beacon of prosperity in Latin America. But in the 2010s, it descended into an economic nightmare. A combination of factors including government mismanagement, corruption, falling oil prices, and socialist policies that discouraged private enterprise created a perfect storm. The result was hyperinflation on a scale rarely seen before. Imagine this. People needed wheelbarrows full of cash to buy necessities, food and medicine became scarce, and millions fled the country in desperation. Venezuela's economic collapse is a cautionary tale about the dangers of resource dependence, the importance of economic diversification, and the human cost of political and economic instability. It's a stark reminder that even countries blessed with natural resources can fall victim to economic mismanagement. Chapter 7. The COVID-19 Pandemic Crash, A World on Pause, 2020. In 2020, the world experienced something unprecedented, a global pandemic that brought the global economy to a screeching halt. The COVID-19 pandemic wasn't just a health crisis, it was an economic crisis on a scale not seen since the Great Depression. Lockdowns and travel restrictions disrupted global supply chains, businesses closed, and unemployment skyrocketed. Governments around the world injected trillions of dollars into their economies to prevent a complete collapse, but the economic scars of the pandemic are still visible today. The COVID-19 crash highlighted the vulnerabilities of a highly interconnected global economy, the importance of strong social safety nets, and the need for resilience in the face of unexpected shocks. It was a stark reminder that economic stability can be fragile, and that pandemics, like other global crises, can have far-reaching and long-lasting economic consequences. Outro, the fragility of fortune. From the depths of the Great Depression to the chaos of hyperinflation, from the collapse of housing bubbles to the global shockwaves of a pandemic, each of these economic disasters teaches a powerful lesson. Economies are fragile things. They rely on trust, on sound policies, on a delicate balance that can be easily disrupted. And while nations may eventually recover from these economic shocks, the scars remain. They remain in the form of poverty, in the stories of migration, in the lost opportunities and futures. So, which of these economic disasters shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more real-world insights that matter.